Okay, it's autumn again. I have a cooking video for you. Here is an easy recipe on how to make scallion pancakes. So I've gotten here some, looks like a cup or maybe half a cup. You can use a cup of chopped green onions or scallions or chives. You can do chives as well. And then I have here a ball of dough, which I started this morning. It should be ready because I was gone for a couple hours. But you only needed to let it sit for half an hour though. But it's not gonna do any, damage or anything if you let it sit longer. So what went in here is just a simple few ingredients recipe. So we had 2 cups of flour, all-purpose, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, not baking soda, okay, and 3/4 cups of hot water. So, yep, so you mix it all up and then knead it until you get a smooth ball of dough, and then you let it sit for half an hour or more. Cover it up in a warm place, and you should be good for the next step, which is what I'm about to do. Divided up the dough, and we have 4 sections. I don't think you're supposed to do this like I did. You wanted this like that. All right. I was just trying to find a place to put them. But anyway, I have a plate all set up for when I've got the dough rolled out into like a fajita round. So I just wanted to show you how big it is right now. I'm just rolling it out enough so I can put the onions somewhere in the middle, or maybe spread it out this way. Now, if you got the mixture right, you shouldn't need to add any additional flour. See, I already got a little bit of onions because there were a few left on the cutting board. So, yeah, I'll put some onion there, and then I'll roll it up like this with all the onions in there. And then you'll want to roll it like this, tuck it in somehow, and then you're going to press it down and then roll it out with the rolling pin, your favorite rolling pin. And then you'll set it aside, and maybe you want to put a something between the doughs. That way they don't stick together. Alright, so here's what they look like. They're just slightly bigger than my hand, or about the size of my hand. And I have 4 flat ones all rolled out. I got these plastic film between them, and one on top. Don't want to dry them out, and so they're gonna be sauteed, fried in vegetable oil. I did have to use flour because here's the reason why you shouldn't put them in with the onions yet until you're ready to roll them in or incorporate the onions into them. So they got wet. So the last 2 or 3, they got wet. So I added a little bit of flour so to prevent sticking to the rolling pin or the board. Alright, I'm gonna go fry some up and show you. Alright, so I got one in the pan already. I think this is a 10-inch pan. So I added maybe a tablespoon of vegetable oil, a tablespoon or two into the pan. Got it on medium heat, and I just flipped it. If you want it thinner, you can do that. I didn't want to roll them out too thin because then I might have had a problem picking it up. But anyway, if these are really, if they were done well, you would probably get these bubbles forming that would create the air pockets. Oh, something fell off of this spatula. And so the air pockets would create a more flakier pancake. So this is a little thick here, but it'll still be tasty with the sauce. I'll make it later. So I'm gonna pause this and put in another one. Here's my next one. It's almost done. So after I put it in into the pan, I had it cook for maybe 30 seconds, and then I flipped it over because I didn't want it to brown up so fast. But I've been flipping it back and forth. I thought perhaps this is still, something I'm learning, so hoping the earlier flip would create the air bubbles, but it did not. Perhaps my dough was a little too thick. But anyway, I did lower the heat to low. I'm using gas, so your stove might be different. I think this is done, so I'm gonna take it out. So this is the last one. I didn't really have any bubble. I saw tiny ones, but it wasn't prominent enough to show you. And while this was cooking, I went ahead and made a dipping sauce for it. Let's move this over. Here's the dipping sauce. So basically this is a tablespoon of soy sauce or liquid aminos, which is a healthy version of soy, and a teaspoon of sugar, this spoon. So whatever, if you want to add more, it's up to you. It's basically a sweet and sour sauce with a little bit of spice to it if you want to add spice, which I did here. You can see the pepper flakes, and I also added probably a tablespoon of water to this because I don't like mine that salty. This is just right. Well, here they are, the finished product. So how you eat is you can cut them into quarters. It's up to you if you want to cut them up, right? And or tear them up. Right now they're a little warm to touch, so be careful. You just dip it in the sauce and Dunkin' scallion pancakes, I guess. Enjoy.